Boom. We are live with PT. Greetings, PT, once again.
Yes, Yannick. Good to
Another,
be back and
yeah,
clarify some things, like always. So yeah,
that's it. The last time we left, we said we were going to go on with that's a small word with huge meaning. I think it's the word diet.
yeah,
Why is there also the word die in there when we're supposed to feel alive when we eat and we're supposed to feel energetic, the energy and stuff in the food? But then you talk to me about diet, like diet.
okay,
Anyway,
okay,
and the stuff we're supposed to eat, but again, it depends also on the environment. And I don't want to have uh, part not no part, but no preference here in my speech about either vegan or people that eat meat. I respect everyone and their choice and stuff. Now, is it good for the human body to eat meat, to eat certain fish, seafood, all that stuff? Because people eat even insects and snakes, and we
mm,
eat pretty much everything that is
mm,
moving on this earth, and also people go hunt and stuff.
yeah,
Now, clarify all this, PT. What are we supposed to put in that human body?
right. The thing is actually that first let's go with the word diet. Okay,
Yeah,
why is die crossing T crossing. So see, it's very simple. If you don't do that, if you don't eat, what happens to you?
you
You
die.
die. So then you have to cross, so it's a crossing. Crossing means you go get above that, you get above dying by doing that action. Okay, so you starve yourself, you die. Okay, so that's the thing. So if you have to cross, that means you have to eat. Okay, so that's the first thing cleared. Okay, number one. Okay, number two, regarding what human beings should eat, the thing is actually quite simple. Okay, like they've complicated it quite a bit, but the reality is quite simple. Okay, so if you are in a certain region, okay, let's say you're in any region of earth. Okay, now if things grow there, plants grow there, right? If you're in a region of earth and plants grow there, okay, and so that should be the first diet. You should go by that. For example, if you are in a region where different kind of things grow, plants grow, grains grow, and in the plants I mean plants have, human beings have a basic diet of leaves, grains, seeds. For example, lentils, rice, grains are all seeds. They're all seeds, right? Then there are tubers, things which grow underground like potato, radish, all of
Yeah,
that. And then there are leaves like spinach, all these leaves. So plants, seeds, tubers, leaves. Okay, these are the basic foods. If there are there anywhere, that's the first thing to eat for a human being. Okay, and the fruits, obviously. You know, fruits, seeds, tubers, leaves. Okay, let's understand the basic food. Now, if you are in a very cold place, none of these things are there available. Then, like in Eskimo, you'll fish, you'll do whatever, you'll hunt, and you'll live like that. Okay, under those conditions. Okay, it's simple, right? Because the other thing is not available. So, option number one first is the grains, which are seeds. Okay, um, even like nuts and stuff are seeds. Okay, and then you have tubers. Okay, and then you have these leaves. Okay, and then you have the fruits. Okay, these are the basic foods available to human beings on earth, and in different regions these will be different, right? They'll not
yeah,
be the same all over the earth. Okay, so first human beings should try and survive from those. Okay, that's the rule number one, simple rule, nothing very complicated. If there is a deficiency or absence of those, then you can hunt and eat. Okay, simple thing. for a human being, right? Like it's not very complicated. Okay. But you can complicate matters later, like, as people have complicated over time, so then it becomes like more industrial thing. Like right now, the industry is a industrial thing. It's nothing to do with hunting, you know. It's about producing, breeding a lot of animals and keeping them in cages and then cutting them and all kinds of things. You know what the industry is like. Okay, so these
Yeah,
are industries now. So the food has become an industry now. It's not food anymore. Okay, so that's a totally different
yeah.
concept, so like including the other kind of foods, processed foods, what they call processed foods and all of that kind of thing. So um,
You
the
know, uh,
diet of a human being is those things which I said in plants, wherever available, and whatever is available in an area, that is the diet for that bunch of human beings, and they can survive on that. Okay, and they have survived on that for thousands and thousands of years. Okay, it's not that they haven't, they haven't, they're not looking for again these vitamin A, B, C, D, A, F, and this protein or this, that thing. They're not looking for that. They're just eating those things and obviously certain amount of knowledge develops in all cultures and civilizations which are on a certain piece of earth or a certain piece of land. What are the herbs there? What are the different plants? What to eat, what not to eat, what does what? That whole science, real science, develops. What is better for cold, what is better for heat, what is better for, you know, different weather, what is better for different seasons. All of those things are there. And that knowledge base, the knowledge system in most ancient cultures is there, you know. Yeah. Only when modern science has come in and completely said like all of that is bogus and has no meaning, you know. And through the education system, of course, that has been told, which has eradicated all of that sense and wisdom from people. Like Native American tribes, they, like even 50, 100 years ago, 200, they had this knowledge for the Americas, not what is called North America, and right now Canada, US, whatever, and up to Mexico and all of those areas, that they knew what has to be had or what, so it's a very new process when all of this is like suddenly completely lost, the science of diet for human beings, basically. Yeah,
yeah, because it shouldn't be very complicated. Like you said, it should be simple to nourish our body. But
yeah,
I think one of the main issue, especially here where I live, Canada, US,
yeah,
and those countries like this, it's the abundance of stuff available. Like Bob Marley said, in the abundance of water, the fool will get thirsty.
yeah,
So
yeah,
there is an abundance of stuff. I just have to go out my door and reach the supermarket, and it's the meat galore, and like you name it, the stuff there is unbelievable.
yeah,
And what you can find online is even worse sometimes, like
yeah,
the junk food and stuff. So I think the abundance has to do also with the choices people take. Like even being vegan here, I think in a when you live in a place like here, like in a city where I am,
yeah,
uh, you're probably being vegan because by choice of abundance, because you have abundance. But if you would be up north with the Eskimos and stuff, I'm not sure you would
yeah.
have the same vegan diet.
Right,
That's what
right.
I'm saying. So
Um,
it's the
the
abundance and the environment has a lot to do with the choices we take.
let's just say in this, like in a, it's a pun, but it is real. The abundances of crap. There is abundance of crap and nonsense. Like it's it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a real abundance. Okay, it's abundance of it's like a quantity over quality. Okay, you have lot of stuff, but most of that stuff is inedible and not good for the human body. Okay, so so that is the point here. So
And the vegan stuff included because it's all transformed, it's all processed stuff, plastic cheese almost. Like
yeah,
they offer, they call
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
vegan or tofu.
I
Tofu,
mean,
I'm sorry.
it is a crazy thing. You can keep cows properly, okay? If you keep cows properly, which ancient cultures did, okay, for thousands of years, then you could have real milk and all of that, which is good. There's no problem with that. Do you know what I'm saying? But won't do that. Do you know what I'm saying? And then all have artificial sort of substitutes for all of those things. That's a crazy mindset in itself. Like it. That's where it has all gone crazy, and that's why there's seems to be a lot of abundance of food around the world. Okay, but that's not food. For example, the grains which they're growing, GMO grains and stuff, they're not really processed by the human body properly. And even if you eat a certain amount of them, they don't give you any kind of nutrition or energy. The ancient grain, old grains, even if you have little bit of them, very little quantity, you'll get more energy and more vibrancy and more everything from them, nutrition and everything from them. So, so it was never
Yeah,
about
and
quantity. It was always about quality. Okay. So the illusion which is there now, delusion of the supermarket, is a delusion of quantity. It's not which is not abundance at all, because a lot of that stuff is harmful for people, in long term, and that's why people are not having that much energy, mental energy also, like the brain energy or anything. That's why um, the whatever they call IQ, EQ is decreasing. All of those things, ADHD, and all these kind of things are happening. You know, so like
like
there is obviously like,
PT,
yeah, yeah,
you enter Costco here. Seriously, 80%, 90% of the stuff is total scrap,
junk,
like
yeah,
junk.
yeah,
Like there's
yeah.
maybe a few oils, avocado oil here and there, few, but not. I would say even 90% of the stuff in there is freaking junk.
Yes, yes, that's exactly the point.
People
False
freak
sense,
on that.
false sense of abundance. You know,
Yeah,
mountain of junk.
false
You
sense
can't
of
you can't call mountain of junk abundance. Like, okay, because
okay.
yeah, I mean that's why little plants, like for example, wherever plants are growing, original plants. Not I'm not talking about GMO plants. I'm talking about the real original plants. And you have their seeds, you have their leaf, you have that thing. All of that will be nutritious. Okay,
Yeah,
like that thing. So it was nutrition was in all amounts, small amounts everywhere, like. And wherever there is any kind of you know unless it's completely ice all year, they'll some things will grow at some point, you know in the summer season or wherever, so and except deserts, so that's all of the places something will grow. And taking those things out of that is a very simple thing. It's not very complicated or complex, you know so and that's why, like, more seed based foods, like, grains, wheat, millet, all of these, rice, all of these grains, which are seeds, lentils, which are also seeds, were present in all agricultural cultures. Like, all agricultural cultures, they always were saying these grains, these seeds are the things which, I mean, even oil comes out of them. Mustard, you know
yeah,
there's so many seed oils also. So whether it is for oils, whether it is for straight eating, everything, grains are there for humans, you know all over the earth. Even birds survive on those, and then the fruits are there on top, you know and then the tubers are there under the ground. There's so many options, that and they're simple options, you know and how to cook them. Again, cook before eating and all of that, because there's a science to it, because the human fire in the human belly is not always good enough, you know to digest food raw. Like, we can't eat seeds raw. We don't have stomachs like that. That's why man was given fire, okay, to
yeah.
preheat the food, pre-boil. That's why human beings and fire, there's a connection, right? Like that's where cooking comes in. Now they're taking out cooking completely. They're saying we're going to eat raw only. Okay, now that'll not be good for people. Then some people will say now we're going to eat fruits only. Just fruit. And now fruits are acidic. Okay, so that has a place in diet, but that can't be the only diet. So again, people are creating a lot of extremism, like extremes in food. you know I'm going to eat fruit only. Some people are saying we're going to eat raw only. A lot of people won't like this, what I'm saying, but this is what is all extremism. This is not balanced approach to diet. Okay, so since people are confused and they're not connected to the ancient cultures, which had sort of let's say perfected the art of eating plant-based diet over thousands of years. They refined it into a science and art and everything. That's what we call this thing, right? Science, art, and technology. So there
Yeah.
was a science and art of food which was developed in certain parts of the world, especially agricultural places. And now that has been completely shoved under the carpet, and nobody's allowed to get that knowledge and wisdom, until, like it comes out. So the education system is completely trying to suppress that information from reaching people, and that's where the problem lies. Like that's where the yeah,
Yeah, and I'm sure like 400 years ago or whatever, 200, there wasn't that many disease and stuff we see today. People affected with the high blood pressure and this and that. Like
yeah,
it's packed with salt, with fats, with name it. And then, I don't know, for in the
yeah.
name of
So
saying
because
it's food, we.
because human body is a complicated machine. It's a very complicated machine, but it has simple sustenance. It's a simple sustenance it has. Now, if you complicate the sustenance of it, if you complicate that, then you will have complications in the human body. And that complications you see right now, that's where all these hospitals now and everything, like all these diseases and all of this, people having so many pills to survive, all of that. The, and the herbal thing also taken out like completely, like, that using herbs for curing plants and herbs for curing also was like suppressed in the last 100 years to quite some extent, like from the mainstream. So there has been all this effort to hide the simple basics of diet from humans, for whom diet is sustenance. Okay, human bodies has to eat to sustain. So even just this mouth diet, there is other kinds of diet human beings have, but we're talking about the mouth one. Even that's that simple thing has been complicated beyond belief, right now. So, and that's the problem people are facing all over the world. And there are, I mean, I've tried to simplify it in my that thing talks, and I have that thing like diet things which I advise people on, and stuff. Like I've made a simple diet thing for people, but overall, this thing is not like any kind of like even a talk or conversation in anywhere in the world. Like people are just not talking about. They're talking about millions of things, but this basic thing, not many people are even ready to talk about. And whenever things are happening, movements, they're happening very extreme, like sort of stuff going on, you know. So it's
But
it,
I have a good question here for you
yeah,
because that's the new hype. I see a lot in the last, it's trending in the last few years. It's juicing and the smoothie and all that stuff that is already like I heard that there's a difference, but in my head also, it's clear there's a difference between eating a banana and smashing a banana and putting it in a smoothie and
yeah,
stuff and drinking it because the digestion starts in the mouth. Like you
yeah,
have to chew your food.
yeah,
That's the secret of longevity that I heard from a man. I think he
yeah,
was 100 and something years old.
yeah,
And he was asked, "What's your secret for longevity?" He said, "I chew my food."
yeah, yes.
So
The
what's
thing,
this
the
thing with
thing,
juicing and
the,
smoothie and it has to be fast and it's like intravenous freaking stuff almost when you juice?
the thing with that is that a lot of the things like banana, for example, right now is not real banana. it's not the old small bananas which used to be. Like it's all
No,
like
the stuff we get here is
modified stuff. Now it's not worth eating really, and it doesn't even have taste, so nobody wants to chew it, like, because you feel bad chewing it, because it doesn't give you any kind of thing which your saliva, like human saliva and those things recognize. They don't recognize it, so when if you put 100 things in that thing and you put it in a blender and you that thing, there's nothing to be tasted anyways. It's just like gulp it and forget about it, right? Like that's the
yeah,
point. Like, like, no, don't let the
fast. Like
juices, because it's actually not good. You would actually chew only when something is good and your biology can register it. The new stuff, your biology cannot register. That's why most of the vegetables right now, which are sold in America and stuff, like mostly out there, don't have any taste. Even the veggies don't have any taste. Okay, so it becomes harder to chew something which your taste buds glands are not giving any kind of input out of, like, that what is this. It's like you won't want to chew on a plastic. How long will you chew on a your juices won't recognize that substance and object anyways. So so the obviously the plants which are ancient plants, the real plants, and your human body have a connection, right? They have a connection. Okay, now that link has been severed because the new modified things don't have that connection. So why would you want to chew that?
yeah,
Okay, so if you want to bring back the chewing, you have to bring back the original plants and original things. You know, Otherwise, that's why this is the way. Like, okay, I won't taste it, and it tastes horrible. A lot of these smoothies, they taste horrible. Like they don't taste.
yeah.
I mean, that's why you have to gulp it down straight through the throat and not even let the juices act on it. you know so it's I mean, I I mean, the nutrition is not there, the taste is not there, nothing is there, nothing is recognizable. So it's a joke
Like
which is being played on human beings in terms of diet, and more dye is happening than tea. The crossing is not happening in this diet, and the dye is more than tea is less, very less. Yes. So,
people even juice like ginger and curcuma and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
but I'm wondering, like when it comes to chewing, like you said, I can put a root of curcuma in my mouth and chew it. It must be freaking nasty, like the
yeah,
taste.
yeah. I mean, if
So,
if you have original carrot, which is very juicy, sweet, small carrots, okay, then you chew that, you'll enjoy it. But if you chew these carrots right now, which don't have any taste, it's nothing, it's like a hard thing or something, you don't even know there's any taste coming. Why would you want to chew it? It's like there is no, because your that thing should know, recognize that substance, what you're chewing, and even animals chew things only which their glands recognize. They don't just do anything. you know like, so that's the thing out there. So it is a question of, like, that connection between earth, plants, and humans has been severed. There is It has been cut. Okay.
it,
So
because even the animal diet has changed too. They are not
yeah,
eating much grass anymore. They're eating grains and stuff and
yeah,
fillers and all kinds of stuff they give them,
which yeah,
like
which why? Because those grains are no good for humans even, and there is waste. So they're industrial waste, and they're just giving those to the other animals, just to give them something, because they can't give them open pastures for grass and all of those kind of things which they should have in the first place, because the whole thing is an industrial thing. But that's not how things are supposed to be. Human food and diet was never an industry. And it can never become an industry. If it becomes an industry, then things will be like they are right now. Yeah.
exact
So yeah,
chaos, total
yeah, like
chaos.
complete no nutrition, only junk. Yeah. So,
Wow. What about eating corn? Because corn is a big topic. It grows a lot in India. It grows a lot here in Canada. It grows a lot everywhere. Corn is probably the number one crop in the world,
Yeah.
not far after wheat or stuff. But
Rice, yeah.
when you heat corn whole, usually it comes out whole too. And to me, that's an indication that
That's
it's
the
not being
problem.
really digested. So, what
The, the
about
corn
corn?
is
Is
not
it
the problem is not the corn by itself, which is the problem. Problem is the variants of corn. Like okay, when Native American, the Hopi had corn, they had no
yeah?
problem with that corn. They were having it every day. They didn't have problem with that blue corn and the ancient corn. In
Okay, okay, okay.
all parts of the world, when they were having corn, like if you go to India, you eat corn, it'll be very sweet and nice to eat, and you heat it up and you'll enjoy that thing. I mean, that's a different. But right now, the GMO corn, the modified corn, and all of that corn, that is the problem. The junk
Okay,
is the modified stuff, not the original stuff of anything. Whether it's
okay.
whether it's carrots, anything, ginger, anything. The problem is not the thing in itself. Thing problem is what they have done to it. That's
It's like plastic. Is it the plastic the problem or the human?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
so
I mean, so
same
and plastic is
reflection, but
not food,
I
right?
do
Like it's
that.
not a diet. Like it's not uh, that thing for people. But these things are served as diet, which is closer to plastic than food, but it is still given to people as food. That's the problem, you
Exactly.
know.
That's the
So
problem.
it's not corn itself, which was grown all over the earth, and there's different kinds of native corn in different parts of the world. That's not a problem. If you have that, you'll get nutrition, and you'll get. But which is also a seed, right? Corn is also seed, right? It's
Yeah,
seeds which you put on the ground. Like again, it comes from the seeds. It's totally fine. Seeds are there for human beings
to
on
nourish
earth.
us.
Yeah, to nourish.
But the
So
original thing, not
the
the
original thing, the real,
modified
the
stuff.
unmodified deal, like that is the,
Exactly.
when I went to the Hopi, they gave me the corn, the Hopi corn. Like, so what the symbol of that is that whenever old seeds will come, that means a good time will come. When old seeds start getting planted everywhere, then a new age will come, after the end of this age, where,
Yeah,
all food is crap. The new age will be where all seeds are old seeds, and that's being grown everywhere around the earth. You'll have a new age completely, just by that. Just
and that's what we can call having a whole food diet.
yeah,
It's the thing, the original thing.
yeah, yes, yeah. That is whole. It's
Whole.
connected. Yeah, and you have a connection with earth. You have reverence for earth. From that reverence comes the right things. There is a connection with earth. There is a connection with the food. There's a connection with everything.
Yeah.
Then nourishment, all nutrition, and simplicity. No complex. You don't have to worry about this is happening or this is happening. Have I had that? Have I had not had that? Everything is taken care of. Like none of this madness, which is right there right now. The tension, the hypertension about what to eat, what not to eat, and all of that. So yeah,
Yeah. And also, like I said, it's accessible. So if people would have to go hunt and kill their own animal to nourish themselves, or go fish, or go catch shrimps or stuff
yeah,
that they eat, it's without limit what they eat out
yeah.
there.
That
So
is
I'm
if
not
you don't have the
sure.
plants. If you don't have the plants, then also you have to have a connection with that earth. You have to have connection with that thing. You have to have a that thing sense like okay, their prayer about it, like in a sense of real prayer, not the fake prayer, or a connection where you're taking something, you're giving something back. Something has to be there, you know, So it is not
Because
just
you
like
look
that.
in nature, and nature kills.
Mm.
Lion kill stuff
Yeah,
alive. They will eat it alive. Like
right.
it's
Yeah,
crazy sometimes.
yeah, but
What's
they
going
have
on?
different,
But
but they have different kind of teeth, stomach, all kinds of things. They're not human beings, right? And that is also part of balancing of nature, because those things should not increase that much in numbers in the forest or wherever in the savannas. So different
but what I'm
animals.
saying is
Yeah,
the heat, if it's necessary.
yeah,
If we're stuck up north where there's no plant and our
yeah,
only resort is to
yes,
kill
yes,
an animal to
yeah,
eat,
yeah. But obviously, but even that all is done with reverence. It's a different perspective. It's not this.
Exactly.
There's no supermarket
That's
approach
it. That's
to
it.
the whole
Okay.
thing. There is a
Okay.
whole
Okay.
different way of going about doing that in extreme environment like that. You know, like, so that
No,
is
no.
yeah. So
No, no, I get it. It's we're on the same
yeah,
wavelength here.
yes, yes,
Now, another question that I have for you, PT, before we finish. People submit their body to all kinds of stuff that they walk on fire, on coal, but also recently I hear a lot about cold baths. Like people put themselves in ice cold water. Personally, I think I would die. I would have to try it, but I'm
because
not good with cold. I live in Canada. It gets to -5 and I get cramps. I'm not good with cold. Like
yeah,
I don't. Winter's not my favorite season at all.
that
So I have a hard time imagining myself in a cold bath, and I'm sure there's many people like me. So
yeah, but the
is
thing
it
is,
good for us?
I mean, it's not. It's just extremism. Like lack of balance. When there's lack of balance overall, everywhere in every aspect of life, then it goes on to this aspect of life too. Then people say like extreme hot is good or extreme cold is good, anything, but nothing extreme is good. Okay, finally, it'll have some negative effect on the human body. So finally, to be in the middle, be in the center is always the right thing. Okay, that's a general rule. General rule, like you can just make it a general rule about everything, anything and everything. So
And
that's
it's very true because also when you go in the shower, too hot is not comfortable, too
yeah,
cold either. I
yeah,
usually go in the middle in
yeah.
warm
Yeah,
water
yeah,
and it's
yeah,
fine.
and depends on the temperature. Like if the water temperature is outside, accordingly, the water temperature you want. If it's too hot, then slightly colder.
Exact,
If
exact.
it's colder, then slightly warmer. But still, you're balancing. You're trying to balance always. You're trying to balance everything. That's the
Th-
point. Not
That's
creating.
very true because in the summer here it gets to 35, 40 degrees. I'm sorry, but the water in the shower will be cold.
I mean, part of the complication is the extremism.
Balance. Yeah.
I told complications have been created, and the part of the complication is this extremism. From complications, extremism will come. It's a guaranteed thing. Okay, when you create complications, when you create simplicity, then balance will come. So those things are
So
connected.
again, balance.
Yes, yes,
Balance and diet, balance and what you submit your body to.
yes,
There's way too much extremism and stuff being done to our body that we do ourselves or that they do secretly also because
yeah,
all
yes,
the chemical product you don't know so much about it, the names, and like it gets very confusing. So some stuff is done secretly, but other stuff we choose to do it.
yeah,
So yeah, so it's very interesting, PT, to have heard you on those diet topic today.
yes, yes,
It's much more clearer for me, and I'm sure for many others also.
yeah,
So large up, PT, once again, and I'll
right,
see you next Wednesday again.
yes.
We are